We're going to go ahead and get started. Hello, I'd like to welcome everyone to the Supplement OWL webinar hosted by SCIPTA and the Council for Responsible Nutrition. I'd like to thank you all for joining us today. Today's presenters are Duffy Mackay and Giselle Atkinson from the Council for Responsible Nutrition. They will be giving a 45-minute presentation on the new Supplement OWL Product Registry tool, and we will allow 15 minutes for question and answer at the end of the presentation. You may submit your questions on your control panel. You can type them into the question box. Everyone will be receiving a copy of today's presentation in a follow-up email. So at this time, I would like to welcome and turn it over to Duffy Mackay.
Well, thank you very much. And we are really happy to be here on behalf of the Council for Responsible Nutrition and the industry entirely to share with you some information about the Supplement OWL, which is a dietary supplement finished product registry. So today we're going to cover just a little bit about why the dietary supplement industry went along this pathway towards a self-regulatory initiative to create a product registry. So that'll be my portion of the presentation, give you some background, and then I will introduce Giselle Atkinson. She's Vice President of Quality and Technical Affairs here at CRN, and she's going to provide you a short tool of the Supplement OWL so you can look at some of the features and functions of it. So we once again appreciate SCIPTA for hosting us and helping us share this information, as well as thank all of the participants for joining us. So just quickly, who is the Council for Responsible Nutrition? We are a trade association in Washington, D.C., and we are a dietary supplement and functional food trade association. Our members include manufacturers. You see many brands that you probably recognize here, and this is by no means a complete picture of our members. We also include ingredient suppliers, so the suppliers of these ingredients. And in that way also, that's somewhat of a disclosure. Both Giselle and I do work for the trade association. So first off, a little bit about supplements. Dietary supplements are mainstream. We know that almost 3/4 of Americans use dietary supplements, and this means that about every 3 out of 4 consumers are likely to have questions about supplements. What kind to take, where to buy, what do I need? And that's why we feel like it's important to reach out to healthcare professionals and continuing educating you about these important products that individuals choose to help lead a healthy lifestyle. And it's a large, widespread variety of products. And you really, as a healthcare provider, serve a key role as an intermediary to help people make wise choices. So CRN does a survey every year. We've been doing it for about a decade. And in this consumer survey, we learn more about who the dietary supplement user is and what their motivations are and some patterns of supplement use. And I put a link there, or you can find a little more information about the survey. But in the survey, we've learned over the years that the data shows that the supplement user represents to some degree a healthy cohort that engages in other healthy lifestyle habits. The data shows they try to eat a healthy diet, or at least a balanced diet when compared to non-users of supplements, as well as visit their doctor on a regular basis and other healthy lifestyle habits such as exercising regularly. Importantly, we've also learned that the dietary supplement users do talk with their doctors about the supplements they take. 85% of supplement users let their doctor know about their use of dietary supplements, including discussions of benefits. Therefore, nurse practitioners, pharmacists, registered dietitians, and all healthcare practitioners are an incredibly important part of the information chain. And the last piece of data on the slide really emphasizes why, is because doctors and healthcare providers are a trusted resource for information about supplements. This is someone who consumers trust to have their best interests in mind, recommend the types of products that will benefit them specifically, because you know something about their healthcare history, their diet, their medications. So you are a very important player to engage in the discussion about dietary supplements. And to not do so would be a missed opportunity. So as a trusted resource, and again, I am a healthcare provider, I'm a naturopathic doctor, spent years in private practice, still practicing part-time. And through this, I've learned that with all of the supplements out there and all of the potential dialogue about quality and other things, actually the most common questions you're going to get are the simplest questions, which are, do I need to supplement my diet? Should I take a supplement? And if the answer is yes, whether it's because they're a vegan and they're not getting enough B12, or they don't eat cold water fatty fish and they need a fish oil supplement, whatever that conversation ends with, if you decide a supplement's appropriate, the next question is, well, what supplement should I take? And there's a variety of ways that healthcare providers go about this, whether it's doing a laboratory analysis or a diet diary, or referring them to a registered dietitian to really take a deep dive on what supplements they should take. Or maybe it's a simple conversation like they're pregnant and they need a prenatal multivitamin, but the next question is the one we want to try to help you with. What products or brands should I take? And if you haven't given this question much thought, what seems to be a simple question can be rather complicated. This is further complicated by the fact that often in the media, we see a polarized discussion about dietary supplements. We hear incorrect reporting that these products are not regulated, when in fact we know they're regulated by the Food and Drug Administration, and a variety of things that can send consumers in a tailspin about trying to identify products and brands that they can trust that what is on the label is actually in fact also in the bottle. So over the years at CRN, we get this question occasionally. We get it from the media, we get it from consumers that will call here, and we've developed a tip for consumer, and this is verbatim what we actually tell people. Look for nationally recognized brands or store brands from a trusted retailer. Companies with a nationally recognized brand have a lot at stake and consequently invest a lot of time, resources, and efforts to ensure their products live up to their reputation. There are many quality, specialty, or regionally local products available too. However, if it's a company you're not familiar with, do some research and learn more before you buy. So again, this has been our answer for a while, just really encouraging people that store brands, brands that you know, whether it's a large consumer goods brand or a pharmaceutical brand, these companies have a large reputation to protect, and therefore they put a lot of effort into being compliant with all applicable laws and regulations, which should be very important to you because that's who you want to recommend to your consumers. However, with the advent of the internet and all sorts of different opportunities to get supplements, this has become more and more complicated for consumers. So the industry as a whole recognized the need to help outside stakeholders, consumers, healthcare providers, retailers, all these different parties needed the answers to a few simple questions. Who are the companies in the industry? What brands are out there? Who are the trusted brands? What ingredients are they working with? And which products contain which ingredients? So these all seem like very simple questions. However, we needed to help as an industry increase the level of transparency so that our stakeholders could answer these questions easily when they're making recommendations. Therefore, we came to the conclusion that it would be helpful to develop a voluntary product label registry, with the goal being to strengthen the industry's relationship with stakeholders, providing them with relevant information about supplements, and improving their ability to obtain product and ingredient information. A simple concept, but profound in the need. We also set out to assist retailers to more easily identify, examine, and evaluate dietary supplements based on labeling, contents, and other indicators of quality to more wisely select quality products for their store shelves. So we went about establishing an industry-run voluntary registry that could serve as a model for a mandatory program if it should ever be imposed in the future. CRN is not proposing or recommending a change to the current supplement laws, but we recognize if you look around the world, there's a lot of countries that require you to register your products and ingredients. So the industry wanted to go ahead and step up, make this commitment, and therefore in the future, if the federal government decides it's a needed piece, we would be prepared and already be compliant. So we took about 2.5 years to create the Supplement OWL, or Online Wellness Library. It's positioned to be a single authoritative registry of dietary supplement product information where all stakeholders, anyone with an internet connection, whether it's a consumer, a soccer mom, a store owner, a health food store owner, a major retailer, can all find information about products, ingredients, as well as additional quality and safety information. When we set out to do the Supplement OWL, we had a few specific guiding principles that we used. First of all, that this needed to be the entire dietary supplement industry. Here at CRN, we are one single trade association. Our members are the responsible players, the large players. Very easy for them to focus on compliance. But what we need is the entire dietary supplement industry, whether they're part of a trade association or not, to put their labels and their ingredients into the Supplement OWL. So CRN has invested significant resources into outreach and advocacy and making contact so that the company across the entire industry are aware of this very important initiative. In fact, to date, we've got a variety of partner organizations, the American Botanical Council, the United Natural Products Alliance, Consumer Healthcare Products Association, Natural Products Association, the Nutritious Business Journal, all have endorsed the concept of the Supplement OWL and encouraged the industry to participate. In addition to recognizing the importance that it's broad and industry-wide, the second guiding principle was to assist regulators and retailers to better understand our marketplace. I'm going to talk a little bit about how the OWL accomplishes that. The first is assisting the regulators. We want to be able to provide FDA with information about products and ingredients. That's not difficult. But what we've also added is a little piece of the OWL that you're not going to be able to see as an outside user. That when you put your label into the OWL, you're actually filling out one other confidential field of information about where the product was actually manufactured and where the product was packaged, or a contact information to get you that information. So by adding that little step, we are essentially requiring that industry register their products to a certain degree with FDA, because FDA will be able to access the information about where it was made. And that could be important if they're trying to unravel a puzzle about a certain ingredient, where it came from, where it's going. And so this little piece of information could be very supportive to our regulators. We also want to assist our retailers. How does a store that's trying to protect its reputation only carry products that are compliant with laws? Well, typically they do this by qualifying their vendors. And so they'll ask a variety of questions of their manufacturers they work with. They'll have confidential documents that they'll view, and sometimes they audit or see audit reports. Well, what we've done with the OWL, again, is we've created a second tier of the OWL where manufacturers are able to share confidential documentation with their retail partners in a quick, up-to-date, confidential, secure digital platform, so I can share my good manufacturing inspection reports with a major retailer before they decide to do business with me. They can quickly go into the OWL, go to tier 2 of the OWL, and with permission of that manufacturer, view a variety of documents that would verify their compliance with existing regulations. So this is a really, really, really important piece, because we need to give the retailers the tools to make sure they're only carrying products that you can trust as a healthcare provider. So we see self-regulation as a hallmark of a mature and responsible industry. We want to develop this product registry and support it. And it is preferred over mandatory federal or state registry. But again, in the future, if we move in that direction, we want to prepare the industry for registering their products and ingredients. The OWL will also connect outside stakeholders, like mainly the retailers that we really are trying to support, to other industry quality and safety initiatives. We know that this was the right thing to do, and we moved ahead. And I want to talk about what we mean by connecting the industry with outside programs. There are a variety of other important programs that exist and are being developed in the dietary supplement industry. Each one of these is geared towards increasing transparency, increasing accountability, and they all come with a variety of documents that verify a manufacturer is going through the due diligence when it's securing raw materials, testing raw materials, processing, manufacturing, finished product testing. All of this is required by law by the FDA, but as we all know, the FDA has limited resources to get into facilities and inspect them. So these different self-regulatory initiatives are designed to hold companies accountable. Now, the Supplement OWL itself is not going to solve all of our problems, but what it does is it creates a single authoritative place for all of this information to be exchanged and held, so that we can really assist those retailers in evaluating thoroughly the products they carry. So in the future, we envision, in the near future, as companies get their labels in, that major retailers will say, hey, if you want to do business with us, put your products in the OWL, i.e. register with FDA voluntarily, and fulfill tier 2 so we can see what's going on in your facility. And that will make us comfortable to carry your products. And I did emphasize this, that we are committed as a trade association to broad outreach. We're out there, we're investing our resources into promoting this. We're promoting it to practitioners, attorneys generals, regulators, the industry, everyone. So we're hoping for a successful launch of the OWL. And this dancing OWL slide is my indication to remind you that if you have questions, please do type those questions in so we can make sure to get them answered at the end. And I'm also going to introduce Giselle Atkinson, CRN's Vice President of Quality and Technical Affairs, who's going to take you on a quick tour of the Supplement OWL. And thank you.
Thank you, Duffy. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Today, I will be walking you through a brief tour of the Supplement OWL to provide you a quick overview of its structure and content via screenshots. And it all starts off on the Supplement OWL landing page, found at www.supplementowl.org. Here, you can find a lot of information pertaining to the OWL. To start, there's an introductory welcome video featuring CRN's President and CEO, Steve Mister, along with UL's Information and Insights Head of Global Market Development, Pam Walker. The tabs along the top of the page can direct you to specific topics. There is What is the Supplement OWL, where you can find information about who is behind the Supplement OWL, what kind of information will be in the OWL, who can use the OWL. And also we have Look Who's Talking. This section provides you a list of published articles and bylines that have been circulating talking about the OWL. And Contact, where you can find the list of key contacts should you have additional questions. And then we have two sections, Why Be in the OWL and Getting Started. And these are sections providing detailed instructions to finished product brand owners and how they get started on getting their labels into the registry. Most importantly, however, this site is your gateway to the registry itself. By simply clicking on View the Product Registry, you will be redirected to the Supplement OWL Registry site. You will see on the left-hand side a list of searchable fields and categories, the very first being Product Brand. This is where you can see a drop-down list of all the brands currently in the OWL. And just below that, we have a product information, label statements, and contact information, all containing subcategories of searchable fields, information that is found on product labels. So for example, if we were to take a closer look at product information, you'll find searchable subcategories, such as delivery form. This would be if you were looking specific for, let's say, a product that is in the form of a tablet or a two-piece capsule or even powder or liquid, you can select that field to narrow your search. Another example is the intended users. If you were looking for products geared towards senior women or senior men, you would select senior female or senior male, respectively. Also, if you're looking for a particular category, such as vitamins, or you wanted to focus on looking at men's health or women's health, you can find these under product category and simply select the category you would like to focus on. Now you can also do a quick keyword search by using this search box in the upper left-hand corner. Let's say you were specifically wanting to view only chewable products. You could type chewable in the keyword search, and the following results would be displayed. And as you can see, on the left-hand side, it lists the product brands that display the keyword chewable somewhere on the label. And on the right, the detailed results of your search, with the keyword, in this case chewable, showing as highlighted. You can also see how the keyword is referenced on the label. It's either in the product name itself or in the text somewhere on the label. So if you were to select one of these chewable vitamin C products, it will take you to the product information page where you'll find more detailed information on this particular product. For instance, we have an image of the product as it may look on the shelf. And here, under Documents and General Information, there is a link to the product label. So if we were to click on it, a PDF of the label would pop up for viewing. At the bottom of the slide, you will see that Tier 1 information is displayed in tabular format. In Tier 2, the behind-the-scenes platform where companies can upload documents to share with retailers, this is where such information would be found. And documents will only be visible by that user, the ones that are granted access by the brand owner. This can be a person, multiple people, a company, or an entire persona, such as retailers. And as you can see, those documents will be tagged with the red confidential flag. This indicates that you are viewing information that is not available to everyone you have been permitted by the brand owner to see these documents. Such documents could include certificates of analysis, product specifications, audit certifications, the types of documents that could pertain to product quality or supporting evidence of product quality. As you scroll down further, Tier 1 information continues, and the categories and subcategories pointed out earlier on the home page are listed here with detailed information provided on the right. And if we continue scrolling down, you can find the brand company's public contact information, the contact information that is displayed on the product label. And if you're FDA, this confidential contact information, manufacturing facility and packaging facility, would be viewable in this area as well. This information is only viewable by the FDA and not viewable by the public. This is the contact information for where the product is manufactured and where it is packaged. Now, just below this is the Supplement Nutrition Facts Calculator. This can be used to estimate how amounts change when you change the number of servings. For example, as you can see, the supplement facts are currently shown for 1 serving size. If you were to take 3 servings, the amounts per serving adjust accordingly. So this concludes my brief overview of the Supplement OWL. Please check it out for yourselves. There are already many brand owners participating, with plenty more to come. By going to our landing page at www.supplementowl.org, you will be able to link directly to the product registry. Thank you. And now we are open for any questions you may have.
Excellent. Thank you, Giselle. And thank you to our audience. You were very well behaved listeners. We appreciate that. I'm going to open up the question. Whoops. Let's go back. I'm just open up the questions here. Okay. First question is, how much does it cost for companies to participate in the OWL, as well as how much does it cost for me to look at products in the OWL? So the good news is, for anybody who has an internet connection that just wants to look at products and do searches and search ingredients, it is absolutely free. That's F-R-E-E, free. There's no cost to you to look at it. As far as companies, I mentioned that we did want to make this as broad and well participated in. So we essentially have made it free for a company to add their label to the OWL. So there really is no excuse to not put your labels in. The only real requirement is that they do register with FDA. Now, meaning they fill out that piece of confidential information. In order to make the OWL self-sustainable and keep it alive for many years to come, Tier 2, where you exchange information with retailers, does cost money, and that's $25 per label right now. We're working on a fair price so that we can just make sure that the OWL does sustain itself financially. The next question is, will I see products from other countries? And so the answer to that is no. Right now, the Supplement OWL is focused on the U.S. marketplace. We are only accepting labels of products that are for sale in the United States. There has been some interest from the international community, but we have not decided which direction to go there. So I have 2 related questions here. I'm going to kind of lump them together. The first is there a way to find out about supplement pharmaceutical interactions? And the second question is does the OWL evaluate product claims? And the answer to both of those is no. The Supplement OWL is really intended to just be a transparency tool. It's not meant to be a marketing tool or a clinical practice tool. There are other tools out there. They usually are for a fee. There are online as well as books that go into, as well as handheld apps for supplement pharmaceutical interactions. Those typically cost money. Those, we were not able to embed all of that into the OWL and keep it free. So this is not that tool, but there are other tools out there. And the question is, if a company is not listed in the OWL, is it best not to recommend the products? And we would like to say that in about a year to 2 years, the answer to that question should be yes. We are expecting that all companies who are committed to being transparent with their outside stakeholders and transparent with FDA will be willing to be in the Supplement OWL. Again, I'm a little biased. I've been involved in the development of the OWL, the launch. I've been in a lot of behind closed door meetings about the importance of this. There would probably be individual companies that are going to choose not to be in the OWL that would like to argue with me that they still have a quality product even though they're not in the OWL. But as we move into this era of transparency and accountability, I think it's a minimum requirement. We would like to see products in the OWL moving forward. The other question we received was, do consumers, or can consumers or healthcare providers or doctors that are interested in seeing Tier 2 information, would they be able to see some of these confidential documents that the manufacturer shares with retailers? The answer is, it's really up to that manufacturer. A manufacturer has the ability to share its confidential documents with any party it chooses to. We have had manufacturers, for example, that say they would like to share, let's say, for example, the evidence that behind their kosher certification. So if they're kosher or halal and they go through great lengths to achieve that status, some of them would like to share this documentation with the world, and the OWL would allow them to do that. When we built it, the functionality was really that there are confidential documents like lab reports and inspection reports that retailers are really need to see, but the rest of the world probably wouldn't understand the complexity of them, and it would not be wise to share publicly. The next question is, can I make a supplement purchase from the OWL? And the answer is no. The OWL is not intended to be a marketing tool in any way. It is a self-regulatory initiative to increase transparency and awareness and give people a broad perspective of the marketplace. Now, there are links to the company websites from the OWL. And so if you are interested in a product, you would leave the OWL completely. You would go over to the commercial side of the company, and then the rest is history from there. We are not interested in selling or promoting any individual products or companies, really just trying to promote transparency in the marketplace. Given through these questions. So we do not have any more questions. And I know that you guys are all very important healthcare practitioners, and we appreciate this short time you've taken out of your day to learn about the Supplement OWL. And if you have any other questions that you want to reach out to CRN directly, Giselle or myself could be available to answer those questions. We want to thank SCIPTA for hosting this and giving us this opportunity to share this important initiative with our colleagues in the healthcare profession. And we hope that there was some value for you, and that you do, when you're working with pharmacists and retail pharmacists, that you do let them know about the OWL, and we begin to encourage from the end user perspective that this is an important initiative for the industry. So I will thank Giselle for joining me. Thank you on behalf of CRN. And with that, we are going to sign off.